Good day everyone, and welcome to our webinar about expert advisor building. My name is Mitri and my colleague Gunnar today will present to you this webinar. As always, if you will have any questions, please feel free to contact us in live chat. So now we will start.
Hello everybody and welcome to our webinar. Today we will be writing a robot using an indicator, and we will use indicator RSI. As first step, let's check how does RSI indicator looks like and how does it work. So into the client's terminal on the left side where the navigator is, let's choose RSI. Right click and attach to chart. Here in the inputs area, let's leave 14, which is default value. Let's click OK. And now let's check how does it look and how does it work. So basically RSI index is this blue line, and if the blue line is above 70, which is here, then we have a sell signal, and once the blue line is below 30, then we have a buy signal. In between there is no signal generation, so as for now the RSI index is between those two lines and we have no signal. So let's try to apply this logic to our robot. As usual, to build a new robot, let's go here in Navigator in Expert Advisors area and do a right click, create in Method Editor. Here we choose Expert Advisor, next, and now we give a name to the robot. I will call it Webinar 21. Next, here we don't change anything, next, and finish. Here we delete everything and only leave on tick function. Let's delete this. Now, as first step, we need to tell the robot to read a RSI index. So how do we do it? We define the RSI index, which will be equal I RSI. So what does it mean? It means that for this variable we will be giving the RSI value. To get RSI value, we use MQL4 function which is called iRSI. So basically this function will return the value of current RSI index. And now we need to give parameters to RSI index, and the first one is on which symbol we will apply RSI. So we will use it for euro dollar. Next one is time frame. Time frame means on which one we would like the RSI index to be calculated. I will go to the manual and see what different time frames we can choose. Here we can use several, and 1 minute time frame, 5-minute time frame, etc. But the very first one is period current, which means the indicator will use period which is selected on chart. If there will be 5-minute period on the chart, then it will calculate on 5 minutes. If there will be like 1 hour selected, then RSI will adjust and calculate based on 1 hour. The next parameter is period. Period is the one when we applied an indicator. It was 14. 14 is a default value, and let's leave it as it is. Applied price. This means based on what candle price RSI will be calculated. There are 4 different options. It can calculate based on candle close price, open price, or high price, or the low price. We will use the close price. I will go to the manual and see how this parameter, yes, we will use a close price as our parameter. And the last one is shift, which is not needed for now, and let's simply put 0. Right now we have told the robot to calculate RSI, and the robot already knows what is the value of RSI index. So let's check what does value look like. So we simply print out our value. So yes, as usual, after every modification we need to compile. We have 0 errors, which means the robot is ready to work. Now let's go back to the client's terminal and choose from expert advisors area our robot, which was called webinar 21. We apply it on the chart and click OK. So here, lower at the bottom of terminal, here is the part called experts, and here we see our printing value. So we see that the robot is printing out the value of RSI. So right now it's 38.79, and we can also visually check it here. What's the value? So 42, yes, it's 42.58. So the RSI value is correct. We see it visually on the screen, and at the same time we see it here in the experts. So right now we have a value into the RSI. Now let's go back to the meta editor and let's give criteria to the RSI. As I showed at the very first step, we will have sell signal if RSI value is above 70, and we will have buy signal if RSI value is below 30. So let's give exactly same criteria to our robot. So if RSI is above 70, then we will have a cell signal, and if RSI is below 30, that means we will have a buy signal. So buy signal. Now let's check if that is working when we launch our robot. On every change, as usual, we need to compile, and we see we have an error. Somewhere is mistake. Semicolon expected, yes. Here after print we need a semicolon. After adding semicolon, there is no other errors and we have successful compilation. Right now let's go back to the client's terminal and see if we can get sell or buy signal. Right now we don't have any signal, not buy and not sell. We see that RSI is in the middle and we have no signal. Let's change a time frame and see if there are signals maybe on other time frames. So on 5 minutes there is no, 15 minutes there is no, 30 minutes nothing, 1 hour nothing, 4 hours nothing, daily nothing, weekly nothing, and monthly nothing. So basically we do not have any signal right now. But let's try to check if we have a signal on other currency, for example on GBP dollar. Okay, here on GBP dollar we have a buy signal. But we need to adjust a little bit our RSI because we were calculating based on euro dollar. Right now we want to change to GBP dollar. So we, as first parameter, we change euro dollar to GBP dollar. Hit compile and go back to the client's terminal and see what is going on. So we see the blue line is below 30, which actually is 25.34, and here we see a generating buy signal. That is exactly what we told robot to do. If the RSI is below 30, then generate buy signal. Let's go back to the meta editor, and here is exactly the same criteria which we put into the robot. If RSI is above 70, it's sell, and in our case what we have right now, if RSI is below 30, we have a buy signal. Let's go back to the client's terminal. Usually there are a question, is it necessary to have this visual RSI in order to work? no, it's not necessary to have this visual RSI. I simply put it on the chart to see how visually it looks like. But it's not necessary for robot to work. So we can remove this indicator, and still we will see on the next tick it will generate the buy signal. Yes, you see? So the signal generation is still working, the robot is still working even without the visual RSI index. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to ask. And as usual, this code and the webinar is recorded and will be available on our website. And the actual code, you will be also able to copy it from our website and try to launch the same robot on your PC. This is the basic, very simple way how we add indicators to our logic when working with robots. If there is no additional questions, then thank you very much for attending our webinar. And as usual, I recommend you to try this code on your PC to make sure it works, and if it doesn't, you can always contact us through the email, and I will try to answer to any question related to the robot if it's not working for you. Okay, thank you very much, and see you at the next webinar. Bye bye.